Yo, what's going on, guys? What's going on? How's everybody doing? We're gonna call this Fix It Fridays. That's gonna be my new little segment here that I'm gonna do on my own. We're gonna have to keep it to exactly 1 hour, because I just like count this as like this is just me using my lunchtime is how I look at it. So, and I got some stuff to do, and I got to get on the road to Kansas. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for my oldest son to get out of school so I can head out. So yeah, we're gonna keep it. This stream will probably be strictly around an hour. It'll be a little shorter than some of the other streams, but we're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff on this kind of program here, like common mistakes that people make, and I got one for you today that was by a very famous YouTuber, and he asked for my help, and I helped him. And actually, he asked for my help quite frequently. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So we'll go over his like common mistakes, easy fixes, difficult fixes, and trying to troubleshoot these machines a little bit. Maybe every once in a while, I'll bring like one of my Z15s or something like that on stream and kind of show you, how I go through the troubleshooting process. At least every machine is completely different in how you troubleshoot it because every machine kind of operates differently a little bit. So they all have their own kind of like quirks, you know what I mean? And you just have to learn to develop those skills of, what to look for essentially. So, um, so the first one we're going to do is, this is I'm gonna clip this so I can put it on screen. Um, I gotta clip it from Discord, and this way I could just share the clip because I don't want to put their mining stuff in here where they're mining in their wallets and stuff. I want to keep that private, respect for them. But let's see if I should. Let me try to open this window here and let me see if I could share it. Yes. Yes, here we go. Here we go. All right. We got this from a Hollywood movie star, as I call him. He he started off as a little pleb, and now he's one of the big timers, none other than Mr. Hobbyist Miner. Hit me up this morning. All right. And he's like, "Hey, morning, man. What in the world am I missing with Foreman? Set change pool on the 3KS5Ls. It changes the pool but never starts mining. What's going on?" And I'm like, well, this is a common mistake, and I made this in the very beginning when I started dealing with Ice River. Sorry, that's my new nickname for Ice River is Shit Creek. Dealing with Ice River, you need to do something very particular. Now, Bitmain, you don't have to do this for, okay? Because Bitmain will automatically do it for you, okay? And what that is going to be, and then here I'll post, let me see if I could just, now I'm going to show my fix that I sent to the hobbyist. And this way, you guys can see what I sent back to him for his fix. Because I would say it's a common mistake, but most people don't really, they don't really, think about it. You know what I mean? And it can kind of trip you up a little bit here. Let me go over here and open up the screen, and that way I could share my response to the hobbyist. Okay. And I said stratum plus TCP, with the semicolon // So when you're putting in your pool information in an Ice River, in Foreman, and any of these things, if you just put like us.cas.2miners.com port number, whatever, it's not going to work because Ice River won't automatically put the stratum plus TCP. It'll say it's on that pool, but it just won't mine. You have to put stratum plus TCP. You must put that in, or it will not mine. It is stupidity, but On Bitmains, you do not have to do this. So when I first started dealing with ice rivers, this was a common issue. This when I first came across this issue, I was just baffled by it. Like, why doesn't it just automatically just know that that's what I'm doing? So you must put Stratum plus TCP, or else it just doesn't mind. Um, and that's like, and that's not like documented anywhere in the Ice River FAQ or in their, any kind of manuals that they have. You know what I mean? So that's just like some basic information. Like if you go to Bitmain and you put us.cas.2miners.com port number 123, it's gonna work. Okay. You don't have to put the Stratum plus TCP crap in there. It just knows to do that. You know what I mean? So um Ice River just doesn't know to do that. So it's like the Kmart of ASICs is how I look at it. Um Hey, there he is, man. Look, there he is. Where were you last night, man? I was trying to play Tarkov last night, dude. Didn't have my Tarkov buddy. Fucking taking L's in Tarkov, dude. God damn. Uh Michael Cartwright. Is there any use for gold shells besides target range? Gold shell, okay. Gold shell, I feel, is a company that does usually they can be sometimes they could be the first to market for a particular product. Okay, sometimes I think when they came out with the Aletheum one, they were the first, right? Was it? Am I wrong about that? They had their AL little box bullshit thing, whatever, and they wanted like what was it, like $15,000 or some stupid like that for that thing. That whoever bought that, I'm sorry, but you need to think about your choices in life. Um, I think that Gold Shell is like hurry rush to market because their their efficiencies are not good. You know what I mean? If you compare Gold Shell efficiencies to Bitmain or Ice River or What's Miner or Alpha Packs, they just don't rank up. They like I would consider them to be the value village the value village of ASICs. Okay, there's Value Village, okay, which is like Gold Shell, okay, and then there's Kmart, which is like Ice River, okay, and then we get into like Walmart and Target, okay, where we get the good ASICs. Um, Gold Shell is I won't we currently don't accept gold shells at Terra, and that's for a good reason. It's very hard to find parts. Parts are extremely expensive, and there was one major repair shop. I believe it was in Georgia, but it shut down. And I wonder why. Because yeah, like nobody's buying tens of thousands of gold shells. It's just not happening, right? So it makes no sense to have a repair shop working on gold shells because they aren't mass produced like some of these other units. You know what I mean? Um, and their profitability is in the shitter, so nobody wants to pay to fix it. Yeah, gold shells are not. Patrick Tarkov, you do like punishment. Hey man, I find Tarkov to be fun, but let's just not get off topic here, okay? Let's just not get off topic. All right. Let's see if there's any other questions. Is all this minor talk makes me want. Here we go. All this is also to get brains in an S19 board and tinker. No, I would say get Venish. Okay, I am a total Venish guy here. All right. Um, and I guess if any of you guys have issues with S19Ks or S21s with maybe the fan issue. So here's another little tip. And I wasn't even going to talk about this today, but since Allset kind of brought up the firmware stuff, I commonly use Venish to help with the fan issues, and this is really predominant in the new connector that Bitmain has, that new 4-pin that they came out with. Um, I have sat there and replaced all the fans on the machine. I've sat there and replaced the same fan 5 times, okay? And it's like, "This fan does not exist. It's 0." And I'm like, "It's it's spinning. It's spinning." Okay. So there's 2 things you could do, okay? I think it might be an issue. Definitely a control board issue, okay? And maybe it's a solder joint or something like that. Okay. I don't know the exact cause, but it is very common. Okay. Where it'll say the fan is 0, but you've replaced it. Okay. To get around paying for another control board, is what I commonly do, for Terra, at least for customers, is I will flash Venish on it, and Venish will pick it up. 9 times out of 10, the Venish will pick up the fan that says it's at 0. Um, it's, um, it's I use Venus all the time for any the Bitmain firmware is very picky about what is acceptable and not acceptable, and if it's not within those tolerances that are tight, a little, I think they're a little too tight, um, things get quirky, and you'll get lots of reboots and stuff like that, where Vnish is much more flexible, um, as a firmware for operating the ASIC. I wonder if it's fused or something. Yeah, I don't know. I have that problem all the time with the fans, like all the time. It's ridiculous. Um, Another thing that you could do with Venish, okay, is Venish also works on the L7, and I believe they had a Twitter post about the L9. So typically, now while we don't allow this at my company right now, it will be something possibly in the future. Is you can overclock the L7 with Venish. So um, I know lots of guys who have 8800s and they run them like 9300s and they run perfectly fine and they operate it that way, right? You could totally overclock it, and it seems like there's a lot of headroom with the L7, and they're very stable when they overclock. So I would be surprised to start seeing some people maybe. I know people don't want to do it on their L9, but I think there'll be some content on it eventually. People overclocking their 16 gigahash L9 to maybe 18 or 19 gigahash, you know what I mean? Or something around that. 4,000. No, no, it only uses a few hundred more watts, Luke, when it goes from like 88 to 9300. Only uses like a few hundred more. It's not like crazy. It's not like it's going to max out like and use a bunch more power. Um, Brains is also a good firmware, um, but I've sampled some of the other firmwares out there, and I finally got to Venish, and I think that's probably my favorite is Venish. Um, there's also some other features on there, that are really cool as well. Uh, Buffer between. Oh, um, I'm here. I'm here. The best. I think we mean best mod, not mode. I think we have a. Where's the grammar police? Where's Hawk? He's the grammar police, or you misspelled that. It's mod. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. All right. So I'm going to share this screen here, and this is going to be an ASIC that is currently, with us right now. I'm not going to show the customer information or stuff like that. But right now it's back on and it's mining. But you could see, let me make sure I shared the screen. I did. Okay, you can see here that it's having some trouble here, right? Okay, it's like, oh, it's hashing. Okay, then it drops a board, drops another board. All right, reboots, goes up, drops a board, drops a board, goes up, and it's still mining right now at its full rate. And I did pull the log, and I'm gonna fetch the log one more time, And this is the issue when you're trying to troubleshoot things is you're trying to, if you're remote and you're not like in the back end to see the history log, because the history log is really helpful because it lets you see everything. Whereas in Foreman, it only lets you see the current log of the machine before a reboot. So if you're trying to troubleshoot in Foreman, it can be a little tricky because you're kind of having to watch this and watch the behavior of the miner, you know what I mean, as it's chugging along here. And we'll see if maybe um it's still mining. Okay, it's still up and going. Let's see if the log changed at all. Uh, I doubt it has. Let me look at it real quick and then I'll share it. Um, no, it hasn't changed at all yet. It hasn't changed. Um, but this one here, like just looking at this, some people are going to think, well, he has hashboard issues. Okay, and my first instinct when I look at this is as I don't think it's a hashboard problem because from this point to this point, right, it mined correctly and then it went down. Okay, it mined from here and went down, and it's getting shorter. You can see the intervals are getting shorter by how long it's running for. So to me, I think that this might actually be a power supply problem um, versus a hashboard problem. That would be my first step that I would, if I'm looking at this and looking at the chart. um I would think it could also be a thermal issue. So let's go ahead and let's look at the temperatures and let's just see what the temperatures are like. Now see, we had a spike, a little bit of a spike there, but not really. So let's was this the is this the 1 day? Let's go. You can see here, this was a reboot here because you can see that it totally dropped off, right? This totally dropped off right here. It could also be a temp sensor because you got this orange one here, which is sensor 4, is really high, and then everything else is down low. I mean, but I looked at the log and there hasn't been anything in the log about temperature or sensors or thermals or temperature um, issues going on. Now, in for the K7s, very, very in particular, okay, with the K7s, and this is why they haven't made that many, I don't think, and not that many people. There's not that many out there. So the design with the K7 is that it's a aluminum board and it uses these little bridges to transfer the power, right? And these bridges, okay, and they go across all the power and stuff like that. And what happens is all these little bridge points throughout the board, okay, all these little bridge points. What happens is when it gets cold, okay, and it's the ASIC has the intake coming in and it's cold. What happens is those have weak solder joints, and what they do is they break, right? The joint actually breaks, and it no longer transfers power correctly. So an issue with the K7s, and they like to be, I think that their temperatures, as far as hot and cold, need to be controlled very well. Um, because there's two ways to fix that. Okay. When the joints break on the board, there's one, you could reflow it. Okay. You could reflow the board, or you may even have to resolder all the joints, which is very time consuming, right? Um, uh, no, hobbyist. That's what we call Ice River. That's what we call Ice River. That's not my new business. My new business is Mining King Industries. That's what Carl said power. But without being at the physical machine, by just looking at that chart and given what little data I have, because I'm not physically on site, and that's over at the Wyoming location. Not being physically on site, that would be my first guess is let's try a power supply swap. But because if the joints are broken in the board and some of them aren't broken, but there's like the connection is not 100%, right? This could be creating those power fluctuations, which is why you're seeing it go up and down, right? Because it can't transfer the power correctly. So it could need a reflow on the boards. Uh, Look, we don't reflow. We send it to the easy bake. Oh man. So yeah, I wish one thing that Bitmain doesn't do, and I think this would be good for consumers. Okay, but I think that that might maybe put off some people and maybe stop them from people buying some particular machines. Like if you knew, like if people knew that there was an S19K model that was soldered on both sides, I doubt that they would have sold very many, or if they did sell them, they would be very cheap, right? People like, I'm not paying good money for this cheap soldered ass crap here. You know what I mean? Because that's what they used to do with the S17s. So I think like if Bitmain came out and they said, hey, and had pictures and descriptions of, hey, this is an aluminum board or this is a fiberglass board. It has these heat sinks and it takes pictures front and back and lets you see the design of each particular one because this is a fiberglass board. The aluminum boards are different. Um, I think it could possibly um, help people with their purchases, right? Because maybe they wouldn't buy a certain machine. Like, I don't want to buy these S19K one, this version. It's, I think this is going to be poo poo eventually down the road. And maybe some people would buy them because they would be really cheap, right? But the problem is when you buy S19Ks, you don't know which revision because there is aluminum boards of the S19K. This is just revision one. Okay. The next revision does have aluminum boards. So I think Bitmain should honestly disclose what type of hash boards are in it, what they look like, the pictures, all that kind of stuff, because that's really going to determine how people purchase machines. Because there's certain boards that I would just stay away from, that I would never recommend to anyone. Um, the K7s are a very particular one that I would not recommend. The K7s, they have to be very temperature controlled. They have to be kind of babied. You know what I mean? They must be looked after very, very carefully. They are a huge pain in the butt. Um, Keith Conrad, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Okay, so what you can do, all right, Keith, and you could talk to your hosting company about this. Is here we go. See if I can get this on camera. Up over here. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up. Come on, camera. Right. Nope. Right here. Okay. Try not to get a reflect here. Damn this light. Okay, you can kind of see that. It says bin one. Okay. Okay, this is bin one. All right, this is a bin one. Okay. So typically when you can consolidate your boards, okay, you could take boards from broken machines and put them in other machines, okay, okay, but oh man, those guys made out because I bet you they fixed them, dude, and they probably like at least probably fixed like 15 of them. Because look, if you have one bad board and you have a machine that has two good boards, you could just make two machines again. You know what I mean? Um, so what you do is, okay, and this is how it works, is if so this has been one, okay? This has been one. I can only go to bin two, okay? And let's just say there's 8 bins, okay? There's 8 bins, all right? You can only go up one and down one in bins. So like if you're bin 4, that means you could either be bin 3 or bin 5, okay? But you can't be bin 2. I mean, you can, but you might have a lot of instability with the machine. Um, C15, don't break, baby. Oh man. Yeah, the hosting company tried that. I mean, I don't see how they're unsuccessful. I've done tons of consolidations. Um, they sh- they that should have worked, Keith. There's no reason if they were within the bins, then there's no reason why they couldn't have consolidated those machines. There's no way that all 20 of them died. I find that unlikely, unless they all went catastrophic. I mean, that is another possibility. But I mean, out of 20, you should at least been able to put 5 together. But I mean, I guess 2 L9s, it, I don't know. And yeah, maybe they bought the L9s early on for like 6 grand, but like, I don't think 20 S19Ks are worth 2 L9s at today's current price. So yeah, and I mean, they probably got the 20, you know what I mean? Because they got the L9s for cheap, and then they actually could make more money selling the S19Ks, right? Um, the um, I traded my S19Ks for an L9. Now, technically, by market value, I was looking the other day, and S19Ks were what, like $1,000 each, maybe 1,000, 1,200. They kind of float around there, right, up and down. We'll call it $1,000. Okay, I traded 20. I traded my whole rest of my fleet away for one L9, and when I traded it, the price of the L9 was, I don't know, like 15 something, right? Okay, now yes, I have more value in money, but the rate that I have, it's not super profitable to mine Bitcoin. So it made more sense for me to take a loss and take the L9. And yeah, sure, the people I traded to, they're probably going to sell them and make way more money than what the L9 costs, which is why they were interested in the trade, right? So it kind of just depends. I think having the L9s, I think will do you better and will yield you more Bitcoin down the road, though, Keith. I think that was a smart move on your play. I think that was a good move, um and yeah, I'm surprised that they offered even to do that. That's a good company you're with. Um, yeah, so in the wintertime, right? In the wintertime, um, in the wintertime is the hardest time for ASICs, besides the summer. So you got to think about it. ASICs kind of like to live in the middle, right? They like to be in the middle of temperatures. You know what I mean? Like 60 degrees, like 35% humidity. That's like really good stuff, right? When it gets really cold, you do have more failures. Temperature sensors go out, power supplies go out. Power supplies, especially in the wintertime. Um, the power supplies are that's a huge issue that I see in the wintertime is power supplies. I just had another 4 or 5 go out that I need to go replace. So that's very common in the winter is power supplies. Yeah, Joker, we're not taking trade-ins for GPUs. Sorry, man. Not happening. What you should do though is go hit up Red Panda Mining. I hear he might, do a trade with you. He's a GPU guy. Um, LOL, I know. Oh man, that's funny. Um, So yeah, if you guys got any questions, maybe about like maybe some troubles you're having with ASICs, throw them up in the chat. I already threw the hobbyist underneath the bus here earlier with him, with his little question he had to me. Uh, no, we get snow next week, Joker. I mean, it just did snow. It did just snow Tuesday, but I don't have snow anymore. It snowed like 6 or 8 inches in Kansas, though. And it's supposed to snow again this Tuesday and Wednesday again. It's supposed to snow again. See here. Let's see if I can find any other good questions from the hobbyist. He kind of hits me up a lot about stuff here. Let's see here. He's asked me quite a few. Okay. Now this makes me leery. All right, we're gonna do another one from the hobbyist. Hobbyist, thank you for being my scapegoat today. Makes things easier for me. Makes things much, much easier for me. You're gonna be my he's gonna be my another little demonstration here. We're gonna do another little demo. And um so this is gonna be related to where you're going to buy your hardware. Okay. He needed a control board, which I did. Terra sold them a control board, and it's in UPS right now. You guys want to be really careful though when you guys are buying these control boards. You can see here, he's going to buy this control board. It already has Vnish on it, and blah blah blah. And I don't remember. I don't even remember what what unit he had problems with. I don't even recall. So the reason that you guys don't want to buy from Amazon sellers or eBay sellers, okay, in particular, is going to be this. Back in the day, especially predominant with the L3s, there was these there it was predominant on the L3s was there was a virus that would essentially change the mining, okay? And what it would do is you would set your pool information, blah blah blah. Okay, oh yeah, it's mining on my pool. You check a few hours later, and it's mining to a different pool and wallet. Okay, the virus would do this. It would make you think that it was running normally, but it's not. In the back end, it's doing its own thing. Okay, and on top of that, it would go across your network and search for other Bitmain ASICs and do the same thing and switch the pools and wallets. So it would just infect your entire network. Okay. Now I know that this is not for a L3, but it did say that it came with Vnish. Okay. Number one, Vnish doesn't work with Caspa miners. Number one, they don't do Caspa, they do Bitcoin and Litecoin. Number two is there's these things called hotel fees in Vnish. Okay. And what that means is like you can, and this is like something hosting companies could do, or this is where I think a hosted company would use that is they charge what's called a hotel fee, and that's like they charge you X amount, you know, in the firmware because that's like essentially paying your slot fee with your mining is what you're doing. Okay, let's just I'm just like throwing this out there. Say you're at ABC hosting, okay, and they could put Vnish on it and charge and put a fee on there for the hotel fee of like X amount of Bitcoin, and that's going to be how much you owe ABC hosting for your slot. So instead of paying your power bill, they just automatically take it from you, right, as a hotel fee. Okay. And also with Vnish, you can also have custom dev fees to where you could have more than the 1%. You could set your own dev fees, and this could, do pay for any number of reasons. So the reason I say don't buy from Amazon and eBay is they could set these things in there, and most people don't know anything about firmware, resetting it with SD cards, or they don't know about the hotel fees and dev fees. They don't know any of this stuff. And they're like, hey, I got my brand new control board. Yay, it's working again. But really, they're stealing your hash rate. Okay. Please buy from a reputable source. If you guys are looking for a reputable source, I will share one on the screen. They do take PayPal, and this is what all the guys at ASIC Masters use. So I've started to use it too, and I'm really happy with the service I've gotten from this company. I hate Zeus; they're fucking terrible. Um, it's called Thanos Mining. So they do accept PayPal. So if you don't want to pay with crypto, you can use PayPal, and I think that's a great option, especially for me when I'm trying to buy stuff for my company. So if you're trying to buy stuff with just regular money, you could do that as well. So Thanos, they have all kinds of stuff for repair, control boards, power supplies, anything you need for repair. It's here. Um, so I'll copy a link if you guys want. You guys could go check out Thanos. Good spot to get parts, good pricing. Um, if I screw if I screw the fan screws into the dashboard and it shorts out, it's asking for a friend. Oh man. If I screw the fan screws into the dashboard and it shorts out, is it my fault? I'm gonna say, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it is your fault, but my next question is why the fan screws so long? How you doing, Crypto 440, man? Uh, asking for a friend. Watching at 2x, catching up 6 minutes behind. All right. Well, I used you again, hobbyist. I used you again for that. Oh, Travelers Travels. Speaking of the AL0, I didn't ship it out. It's on the desk over there. I'm sorry. I do have to go to Kansas. I'll get it out to you Monday, and I'll throw something extra in there for making you wait. I'm terribly sorry, my friend. I did forget. Uh, Here, I'll go get it to show you. It's over here on the. Feel bad for him. I was supposed to ship this out to him, but look, you even get this cool, you know, KiiNG barrel connector doohickey. And I got the original box. It's somewhere down here in the basement. So you'll get the original Ice River box. I already sold it to him. He already paid me, Joker. You can't have it, okay? You can't have it. All right, Joker. I'm sorry. I sold it to Travelers Travels. You can't bid it. He already paid me. All right. You're paying more than what you get it for directly from Ice River. He's just pulling your leg. He doesn't have that kind of money. I mean, look, he only did a $2 super chat. You think he has $500? I mean, come on. Oh man. All right, 45 minutes in. Um, yeah, that's kind of all I had for today. Let me see. Maybe we could do another. See what else we got from Mr. Hobbyist. See if we can use him again as another little scapegoat here. Let's see here. No, I don't have any more from him right now. Well, hey, now I know how to get bigger super chats now, Joker. Hey, thank you, Joker, for the $100 big PP super chat. All right. Look at that. All you got to do is just tell him he has a little one and then he'll throw in a big one. All right. It's that reverse psychology right there. uh, you're gonna have to go. You got to go play some more blackjack or poker there, Joker, to go make that $100 back. Uh, that's funny. That's funny. Let's take the boys out. I mean, I'm going out to Kansas today, really, so I can't. I gotta go. I got a ton of work I gotta go do over there. So unfortunately, not going anywhere this weekend. Not anywhere this weekend. Although there is a really, really nice sandwich shop out there in by the facility. It's super good, man. They have this like fresh bread that's like made every day there. Oh man, it's dude, such a good sandwich place. So fire. I get it every time I go there. That's that's half an ale zero. Oh man. I guess I'll have to find something else I can auction off in here. um let's see if I can find something else for you guys. We went over here, we went over the ice river thing. So remember with ice rivers or shit creeks as we call them, you need to put the stratum plus TCP or else it won't mine. Um and then we went over the Venus. And if you're having fan airs and stuff like that, to use Venus for fan airs. Um oh look at that, man. Crypto K Day's birthday next weekend. Let's see here. I think so here we go. Let's do one more. Here we go. Obvious, I'm borrowing you again, and your fat fingers are in the screenshot too. So sorry about that. On one more from the hobbyist. I should really charge him for all this. He messages me all the time. I should charge him when he charges for those one-on-one calls. If you guys, here, if you guys need, um, you guys need the link for Venus. Here's a link for Venus. Um, Venus is a little bit different. It You need to make sure that the correct version is in the folder that you're trying to upload, because there is many, many, many different versions of the firmware. It's not like Brains where you just install it over the network and it just does its magic. Venus is a little more um hands-on. I'll be having this Wednesday. I think because I'm doing this stream on Fridays, I'm going to be dropping videos on Wednesday. My next Wednesday video will be a video on Venus and how to use Venus, because it's not super user friendly, like really intuitive. You do have to know a little bit of what you're doing. This guy use and abuse. Yep. All right. So we're looking at the old hobbyist here, and he has his fat finger here in the picture. It looks like you're having all these failure to read and writes. You can see this right here, the very end of it here, where he's getting some errors for failing and reads to write. Um, the other issue that he ended up having was is as soon as he turned it off and plugged it back in, it died. So the first thing he has to do is he needs to replace the power supply. And I think this was after a power outage he had. He needs to replace the power supply, and then if this problem still persists with failing to read and write from the NAND on the control board. This tells me here, like if I see failure reading and writing, you could do two things. Okay. You could do two. You could replace the control board, okay, which would definitely solve your problem. Or you can use a micro SD card or it depends. Like, is this, I don't know, I think this is a CV Tech. I think this is a CV Tech control board. So CV Tech uses a micro SD. AM Logics use the little micro USB doohickey. You know what I mean? Um, so you could do a SD card flash, which it's going to be very hard to find that SD card recovery stuff because Bitmain took it away from their website. And this is something else by Bitmain I think was like not a good move. It's harder for you or others unless you're somebody like me where I have access to a folder that's constantly updated with new firmwares. If you don't have access to something like that, you're not going to find these SD card files. It is hard to find. There's one place that does have older ones, but not any of the new ones like the L9 or anything like that. They have older ones, and that's going to be Zeus. They have an older library, but they don't have the newest ones. So you could do an SD card recovery and see if that fixes the control board, because sometimes the power could have corrupted the control board and stuff like that. And sometimes you can get away with just doing an SD card recovery. So instead of paying like $80 for a control board, you could pay, $5, $10 for a micro SD and just reflash it, right? And then update it to the newest firmware and should be good to go, right? The Mining King TFTI, I don't even know what that stands for, Luke. We need to spell check the hobbyist. Copyright claim him. Oh man. All right. It's almost 52 and a half minutes here. We'll go for 5 more and then I'm just gonna end it because I gotta go back to pack and get ready and stuff. And this way I can conclude my lunch hour here. So if you guys got any last minute questions for the last 5 minutes, thank you, Joker, for the $100 super chat. Appreciate it. Showing off the big PP, showing everybody who's boss. Oh, quiet you. All right. Just for that, I'm just gonna just boot kick your GPUs right off the shelf. Okay, Joker. Whoa, 100. Thank you for the $102 because there was a previous $2 super chat. Well, guys, I'm gonna catch you guys later. I don't see any other questions pop in. Next week, I'll try to have an ASIC down here that we can troubleshoot, and we can work on trying to fix it and stuff like that. When is the last day? The last day for the GPU shop is May 1st. May 1st is the last day. And if you don't pick yours up, Joker, I thought you said you're just going to give them to me. That's what you said. You said, Mining King, you did such a great job. I'm just going to give you my GPUs. That's what I heard. That's what I thought I heard. That's what I'm going with. All right, guys. I will catch you guys next Friday. Fix It Fridays. We'll have an ASIC down here that we can troubleshoot. And then be on the lookout for Wednesday will be a Venish video. All right, guys. I will catch you guys later. Have a good weekend. See ya.